Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the September 30th meeting of the Sun Valley Nominations and Elections Committee meeting. We are all here except Corinne Borchert as an excused absence. Why don't we move to approving the agenda? Is there any changes to the agenda?
I have a change. It's maybe it goes under the next item, approval of minutes. We also need to approve the August 15th minutes.
Okay,
They've never been approved. We didn't have them ready the last time we met.
let's add the August 15th.
Okay, I did that.
Okay. So we are approving the September 16th minutes, the September 3rd, and the August 15th. Is there any discussion or any changes?
Do we have September 3rd minutes? I know Michael wasn't there. That was the candidate drawing. And when you look at committee meeting minutes, there's nothing. Basically, it just shows a date and the activity, which was to draw the candidate names out of the envelope. I don't know, the part of the Sun Valley website that is called committee meeting minutes doesn't even show that minutes are due for that meeting.
Okay,
We have any.
Pretty straightforward. We just pulled the ballot, all we did we have minutes last year for the candidate drawing?
I don't remember. I'd have to.
I don't know. I could go look.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's we can approve those in November if so needed. Michael, are you? Go ahead.
I was going to move that we approve the August 15th and the September 16th minutes.
Okay.
And hold off on September 3rd. They may not even be required.
Okay. Sounds good. I don't know if it was a small committee. I'm not sure if we have to vote. Is anybody, I imagine we're just, if anybody doesn't have a problem, I suppose we're just approving by acclamation.
Sounds good.
Okay. Morgan, is there any members in attendance?
I don't see anybody raising their hand.
Is there anybody in attendance?
Nope.
Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and move on to ongoing business. The candidate forums. Gail, I see you've been working really hard at preparing for that. I know we had a really good discussion with our GM last week, and Linda Bradley was there towards the end. Did you want to go through what you had sent us in terms of the structure and the questions that are there at this point?
First of all, I'm not going to go. The candidates have been sent the questions, and so has our committee. In other words, Friday night when I sent the late 11 p.m., but I kept my word to get them out on Friday. I CC'd the committee, and so the questions are there, and those questions stat. I don't know. I don't want to necessarily read them out loud now. I think we should wait for the actual forum.
Sure, I agree.
I do have a couple of issues about the meeting that I would like to raise.
Okay.
And so let me see. Well, the first is who will be present. Karen cannot be present at that first forum Wednesday night. Again, I think one of her children has a sports event that night. But Michael is available, I'm available, and Linda is available. So my first question is, do we have enough NNE staff to make this work? Because last year we had 2 timekeeper people. You, Rob, I don't know how you and Karen divvied it up, but one of you kept the time and the other one controlled the buzzer, so that when people's time was up, this really loud buzzer went off and they knew then to stop. So how do people feel? Do you think, I know Michael's gonna say it's a piece of cake, we can do it, nothing to worry about. You always say that, Michael. But And
We'll
of course.
just make it happen.
Hmm?
We just
Make it
make it
happen.
happen.
Well, last year we had, you were the moderator. I ran the timer on my phone,
Uh-huh.
and, Karen had a little card that she flipped up, letting the candidates know as time was kind of marching down. That would just
Yeah,
say,
that you have like 30 seconds left and et cetera.
yeah. And then we had a little bell that we dinged. We didn't really have a buzzer. We just had a little bell like at a teacher's desk that we dinged when the time was up.
Well, I can do that. I mean, I can
And we did
time
it that
it
way.
and
Yeah,
flip up a card, so you got 1 minute left, and then ding the bell.
yeah.
Okay, good, good, good. Well, that will be, I've forgotten about the cards, but that's helpful if you're someone who's, reading your script and you like you get warmed up and you forget it. Good, good, good. I forgot about the cards. That's good. And so Michael, you'll manage the cards, and
Yeah,
anyone have the little bell or the little buzzer?
I probably got one around here somewhere.
The bell was brought to us. Joanne actually brought that from the Welcome Center.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, and Linda mentioned that she thought that admin had such a thing. So
Yeah.
good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that takes care of that one little, I just, I want to make sure that everything goes smoothly. That's, of course, everyone's desire. Okay, now I have another question for the committee. And I would like, as a committee, I'd like us to make a decision or a recommendation, and that is, one candidate is not available on Wednesday night, one of the board candidates. And we have two ACC candidates, but since they're running unopposed, apart from introducing them if they're present, and actually one will be present and one will be just watching via Zoom. So we have 5 board candidates. Rick Asai is on travel status, which I think you may have known, Rob, but what he has done is sent a written introductory statement, a written closing statement, and written answers to the 5 questions. Now, I don't think we should share his answers until the forum, but the question is, Joanne had suggested, I think that when we met Rob with her and Linda, that perhaps someone could read Rick's answers, because apparently he's going to be in some international location where he can't even attend via Zoom. Now, I just noticed looking back on our notes that Joanne had also suggested that she might make a little video, either of Rick Asai reading his statements, or it wasn't clear to me, because it was all new and I didn't understand everything that was going on, or that maybe it would be a video of someone reading the statements. But we haven't done that before. In the past, if a candidate couldn't come to one of these meetings, they were free to drop off literature or have a friend drop off literature, but we didn't have a little videos of them from afar, and we didn't read their statements. So does anyone have any feelings about that?
Have someone read it.
Who?
Joanne.
Remember, the goal is always to treat everyone the same, to give everyone the same opportunity.
Well, if he's on a business trip that he can't be here, that's part of our life process. He's,
Mhm.
I would say if he's taken the time to send this stuff and have it there, then someone should be allowed to read it. Maybe Linda could read it, or Joanne could read it, or something.
Yeah.
Maybe admin should read it so that the entity is. I know that I just got these communications about a half hour before our meeting from Rick. I mean, I understood that this was an option from the discussion that Rob and Linda and I had with Joanne mid last week, but I didn't have his materials, but now I do. And so before I just responded and said, yes, we'll read them or whatever, I just wanted to make sure that the committee would endorse that.
Oh, I have a question. Did any of the other candidates indicate that they were having difficulty coming to any of the forums other than Rick?
Yes, the other candidate, but the other four will come to the Wednesday night forum. But our Sunday, October 13th forum, Tammy Vanderpolder has said that she will be out of town. I've asked if she wanted to Zoom in, and she is thinking about it.
Okay, I think we also should offer her or anybody else who says that they can't come, the ability to answer the questions that have been submitted so that they could be read. I would also, from I recall that there was a member who applied for one of the open board positions who couldn't come, and she submitted a statement that was read to the board.
Not last year, though. Was it?
I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, no, I
If
didn't
we
want to.
if we allow the option or the ability for any candidate who cannot make those dates to present a written statement, then it should be read and it should be made optional to all of them. It would behoove them to be there, but if they can't, they can't, we have lives to
Right.
live. And if, as long as everyone's being offered, and I don't care what happened any other years, we're on this year. And if, all of them are being offered equally the same option, you can't make it, answer the question, send them in, somebody will read it. Or they could send someone to read it.
Well,
I just want to say that it was Lori who was applied for the open position. When I applied for the open position, she was on a cruise and Nancy read her statement. So I would offer that whoever reads the statement be an NNE person.
yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, it was submitted, the statement was submitted to NNE as a result of NNE inviting someone to the forum, so that makes sense to me. All we're doing is reading their response. Yeah,
I think it looks more neutral if it comes from an NNE person,
As
Yeah.
opposed to a friend, I think that
as opposed to friend or opposed to admin.
okay, but I did see a note that possibly Joanne had offered Rick the possibility of doing a video, and I think that we just need clarification. And again, if she has and he's accepted, then we would follow the guideline of offering that to everyone. But of course, it wasn't offered at this go round because
well,
Right.
actually, Gail, she needed to look into whether it was technologically feasible with the Zoom, and we didn't hear back from her.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking that at this point, it's just a written statement.
I don't think we should do a video anyway, so let's just keep it as a written statement, and somebody from either, since you're going to be moderating, I guess.
Well, then I'll read it out loud. Now, my only other thought, and I did write to Rick this evening, I said, have you read these out loud so that you know that they're within the time frame? Because, but I guess I'll read it out loud. I hope that he has done it, so he is confident that a person reading at a normal rate will get it done.
Well, if you go over, I'm going to ding you.
Exactly, exactly.
All right.
I won't draw.
Absolutely, everybody gets treated the same.
Okay, well, good. So that's okay. That's fine. I just wanted us to be in agreement. I didn't, especially because I'm not chair, Rob is chair. I didn't want to go making a bunch of unilateral decisions, when we are a group.
Oh, no, we're a team, and absolutely, it's great you brought it up. I'm glad you did.
Good.
Well, that is it on the forums. I don't think I have any other questions. I wondered if we had enough person power, but I know that Michael Wadsworth says there's nothing we can't do with one arm tied behind our back, right? And the other arm holding a fishing pole. So, okay, so that was that one on the candidate forums, unless some of the members have anything they want to ask. I think we're in good shape. I sent you all the letter that went to the candidate, and the first page and a half of the letter just goes through how, the way the forum will flow, you know?
Yeah.
And then the last, on page 2 at the end are the 5 questions that we're asking on this go around. And by the way, there is an announcement on the Sun Valley website inviting people to send questions. I'm getting questions, but of course, we've made the determination for this upcoming one. So when we do the next round of questions, I'll see if I can fit in a couple more that have come in from the members.
Sounds good, Gail. Thank you so much for your, I know you're working really hard at trying to put this together, and I really appreciate your efforts. Thank you.
Well, it's the least I can do. Thank
Um,
you.
Yeah, and so the ballot box, Michael, thanks for meeting Joanne to put that in place. It's all in good shape, chained to the wall and all that. We're good to go with the ballot
All
box.
set up, gun cases all cleaned out and in the downstairs office, and everything's ready, waiting for us to go pull ballots out on the 11th.
Great.
And now I have a question about the ballot box. So just to confirm that we'll have 2 NNE people. And I can do the 11th, so it would be me and Michael. And I can also do the 19th. So that would be me and Michael.
Plus the 19th is a community forum. We're not, ballot boxes are gonna go the 11th, the 18th, the
I'm sorry.
22nd, and the 25th, the 29th, and the 1st.
Right. And Michael, you're available for all of those, is that
Yep.
correct? And then I think Karen is available on Tuesdays, so she said. I am not.
I would be available on the 1st. I'll be back by then. So if
Okay.
needed, I'll do the 1st.
Okay, that's a biggie. Are you sure? You'll be not too jet lagged?
As long as there's no flight delays or airports are hacked or anything.
Has the time that we're gonna do it been said? I just have dates. Nobody said the time.
At 4:30, all of those.
At
dates.
4:30 every time?
Yeah, because that allows people, they have up until 4:30, especially at the very end.
Well, that's on the 1st. I'm talking about all the other days.
Well, I assumed 4:30. I mean,
All right, well, I'll get a hold of Joanne and ask her what time has she set a time for this?
okay.
She's got the keys, and so I'll I'll contact and make sure we have an exact time.
Okay.
By the way, I think that on the 1st, when those ballots have been polled, we should retrieve the keys as a committee going into next year.
And that ballot box on the 1st is 4:30 at the end of business.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, we can see how that goes on the 1st.
There's another thing we'll do on the 1st, and that is, and I'll set that up with or check with Whatcom County, is we also empty, well, we watch the emptying of the mailbox for Whatcom County, and they give us any ballots that have been collected for Sun Valley, people who just chose the wrong box. That can be done before 4:30. I think Joanne and I did it, I don't know, around 3 last year.
Okay.
Yeah, then my dogs were barking. I was just gonna say, I think after the last retrieval, we should retrieve the keys. I'm not sure
From Joanne.
when a new GM comes in. Yeah, I'll just put it this way. I think maybe there'll be some changes in that process, so.
Yeah, that's important. And of course, I think it's still, you know, at least when Rob, you and I chatted with Joanne, she didn't know. You know, she indicated that she was available, but it's kind of the board's decision, and possibly the new GM, if and when a new GM has been, you know, has come on board, how that all plays out. But hopefully hopefully in the next week or two, there'll be more clarity.
Okay,
Okay. So AGM prep, in terms of volunteers, I think what we need to do is put out to the, put announcement out to the community that, volunteers are needed on the day of the AGM to assist with, counting and not counting, but being in the counting room.
there would be opening ballots, and the 2 would be opening ballots and 2 would be observing.
Right. Then we're thinking we need someone to be upstairs, helping to sign people, and we want to make sure we have a quorum.
And I understand that the couple that did it last year really wants to already said they want to do it this year.
Right. And
That's
so
Arthur's
that's what I'm getting at, guys. I think what we want to do, and to be fair, is to put it out that we're looking for volunteers. Iris and forget his name. If the
George.
couple want to volunteer, they can go on the website and throw their name in to volunteer. If we don't get enough volunteers that way, oh, by the way, we would say, please let us know by close of business, let's say October 15th. And at that point, then we can reach out to people who have helped us in the past, because that way we're being fair and open to everybody. Anybody wants to get involved. I think Iris and her husband are lovely, and if they
Yeah, I
want
talked with Norm too, and he was
volunteer.
interested.
Yeah, that'd be great. So I'm thinking we need 7 volunteers on top of the 4 of us.
Well, let's see, we wanted the 2 counters, 3 counters we had last year. We had 2 observers. And then there was some discussion of having a runner. Now, last year, Michael was the runner, right? Going back and forth between what's going on upstairs and the counting efforts that are going on downstairs. And also the people coming in who may be voting in the morning, and other people who may plan to vote from the floor. So we do need someone who's kind of not tied down. Did that last year, didn't you, Mike?
If Rob is pretty much, well, in the past, the chair was always in the counting room, observing everything that was going on in there. I like sitting at the table so that I can answer from N&E's perspective when people come to vote. I can answer that yes and no, and this is why. And yes, you can vote upstairs at the AGM, and quote I have the N&E manual with me, and I just tell this what the rules are, and they go, okay, I understand. And they make a decision. And then we need someone upstairs at the AGM to have the ballot box for anybody voting on the floor. And that's about the only jobs that N&E will have. Those are the 3 things we got to cover. There's usually an N&E person in the counting room. I've always just kind of sat at the table with Catherine answering N&E questions and voting rules. And then we need a person upstairs kind of ready to have the ballot box during the meeting and carry it down for the final count. And then at the end, the 4 of us on N&E will go over the reason they disqualified a ballot. We all have to look at them and understand why if it got counted.
When does that occur, Michael?
That's at the very, very end, after they've already made the count, just prior to making the announcement of what the results are.
Okay.
But Andrew sits there and shows us each one and said, and we make a decision. What are they trying to say here? And we, the 4 of us or whoever's there, can make that decision. That's why I was thinking if Rob, since you're in a wheelchair, we can't get you up and down the stairs very fast. So if you were in the counting room, you would be able to be more of we'd have the chair there understanding what was
Great,
going
yeah.
on what we decided on the votes that were questionable.
That makes
That
good
should
sense.
Also, in the Unilect contract, as I recall, the decision maker was going to be the chair in consultation with the GM, as I recall. But I think it's spelled out in the contract.
Yeah, and last year Joanne was there too. In the past, we didn't have a GM involved in any of this.
Yeah.
Well, I think there is in the contract, and then one other thing I just want to bring up is, because I read into it last year, is once we have those final numbers, because I remember racing upstairs and bringing them to Joanne, they go into a PowerPoint presentation for the membership. And I think, assuming Joanne is with us for the AGM, I actually hope she is, because she's done it before and would, would do a good job. They go into, or someone, gives that information to the person who's presenting the PowerPoint. And as Joanne said, when we met with her, it might be Joanne, but it doesn't have to be Joanne. It's just a template of a PowerPoint, and then once the numbers come, someone just puts those numbers in and flashes it on the screen, and we go from there.
Well, so let me help a little bit. Well, what we want to do this year is downstairs in the counting room, when we have the final results, we will have a memory stick and that'll have PowerPoint on it.
Yeah,
We'll just put that into a computer and put the results ourselves down in the counting room.
But
And
we
then
don't have that
let me finish. And then we'll save that on the memory stick.
Mhm.
And then one of us can take the memory stick upstairs.
Oh, good. Yeah, I remember.
We'll do that down there so they're not
I think
hovering
that's how it
over.
was done last year.
Actually, it was on a sticky note and Joanne had to type it in.
Oh,
We want to do it differently this year. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Gail. I think I
No, I
cut you off. What,
remember that was the solution, but I do know also that I wasn't anticipating this question. I had to get the results and race upstairs, and Joanne was saying, "Hey, we need the results," and I've got to put them in this PowerPoint. It just was a little element of the process that was
Right.
unexpected for me. So this
right,
is, we're ahead of the curve.
yeah.
But we have to choose someone. Maybe you, Rob, are you going to have a laptop with you where you can do this?
Yeah, I can bring my laptop with me.
So the chair, Rob, will do this on his laptop. And then
Yeah.
I'll be the runner upstairs to whoever is personing that
we'll
presentation.
just have to get Rob from the counting room upstairs.
Yep. I can get up the hill pretty
It goes
quick.
upstairs.
Okay,
I
I
mean,
get up the hill also pretty quick. So we agree we need 7, we're looking for 7 volunteers to assist us.
mhm,
And we'll have the memory stick to put the results in. I'll be in the counting room all morning. Michael, you're gonna be out at the main table answering questions and hanging out with Catherine.
yep,
And Gail, I think at last year I was by the person who helps people if they're not in good standing to become in good standing.
mhm.
There was no one that needed that help last year, but we
Right.
still needed somebody from NNE to take part in that.
Yeah, well, I could,
who's
Okay.
the 7th person that we need as a volunteer?
I think
Um,
the runner position.
Huh?
no, it was, the thought was 3 people upstairs at a table as people come in. I
Oh,
think
okay.
someone greeting, 2 people. I think they wanted to have 2 people greeting, 1 person who was really, really ensuring that we had 50 people as a
Okay.
quorum.
That's fine.
We also learned, what was also reiterated, if somebody owns 4 properties in Sudden Valley, that constitutes as 4
Attendees.
4 people towards the quorum. it's not one person, it's how many properties are represented.
Mhm.
So, okay, and then also an AGM prep, the plan is the board will have their organizational meeting on the same day, on that Saturday, not waiting until the Monday like last year.
Mhm.
So after AGM, maybe, we could say maybe even a half an hour after the announcement of the results, we need to have our organizational meeting.
Yeah,
And at that time, we'll pick our chair and our secretary. And then I do have the script from last year. Thank you, Gail. I found that script. So you were really kind to give that to me. So we need to kind of be thinking about what we want to do next year for our chair. Yeah. Michael, are you thinking you're going to stick around for another year? Hate to put you on the spot.
I'm thinking.
Okay. Well, I love working with all of you. I know that's for me, I will just say this for me. Sometimes I think I'm communicating and maybe I'm not doing it as well as possible. One of the things I think that would be helpful next year is to have a decision log, a committee decision log. As we make decisions, we should log them so that we keep a running tally. I saw an email where we indicated that we thought the time for the forms was different than what was announced, and yet my recollection is, as we had meetings closer towards this time frame, that we had chosen a 5:30 to 7:30 time frame. Which, by the way, if it had been later, like a 7 to 9, I don't think I would have been in favor of that, because a lot of young families can't come to a meeting like that from 7 to 9.
I thought
remember
7 to 9
when
was
we
too
were raising
late
our,
also, but 5:30,
you
I guess 5:30 to 7:30 is fine.
yeah, yeah.
It kind of makes it a real rush trying to get out here from Bellingham at 5:30 though. So it's kind of, you're either way.
Well, that's why we have another forum on a Sunday afternoon, 3 to
Yeah.
5.
That'll be
Yeah.
easier. The Sunday and the Saturday one might be easier.
Yeah. Okay. New business, as needed. I guess what I would say is, the only thing I'm thinking about is as we get past the AGM, we should be thinking about encouraging people to join the committee, because what I learned as being the chair this year is I was right up front in seeing how the ballot materials and things like that come together, and we're a small committee. We need more help. So everybody's worked really hard, and I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys are awesome. I love working with you. But we are going to need some help. Anybody else have anything as needed at all?
Don't, let me see if I had anything else. Okay, I do have, well, no, this is just, I guess for the good of the order, that we are in an election season, and an entity has, wanted to absolutely be a strong neutral. That might mean, cooling our jets a bit. We're also members with thoughts and feelings and et cetera, but I think it's important that everyone feel that we are absolutely by the books.
Yeah.
I guess that's it. So Rob, are you interested in continuing as chair, or you want to hold your fire?
No, I'm interested, but I want to make sure that I don't want to create a dictatorship.
Well, nobody else wants to go to the
On day
board.
one?
Yeah.
No one wants to volunteer to go to a board meeting.
If you guys want me to, if you guys want me to continue to lead, or as chair, I would be happy to do that. You guys know me, I'm really an open book. I'm completely open to any feedback on, what we should keep doing, what we should stop doing, and what we should start doing, you know? Our manual is very clear, and I know that we're working towards it, because you guys, you guys are really good at saying, this is what we need to do to follow our process. I think next year, I've really enjoyed working with our GM, and I think we should, I think we should work more within our purview, and I'll just put it that way. So,
But what do you mean by that?
well, I think what I mean is I think we should, I think we should have the keys. I think we should, you know, not, and I don't have any, I really can't say I have any complaint at all. I've absolutely, I mean, I've enjoyed working with Joanna. She's extremely efficient and very professional. And there was stuff that, to be honest with you, if she hadn't taken it on, her and Linda, I would be, I don't know if I could have met some of those time commitments. If, for example, like editing and things like that. So.
As to the keys, that whole thing only came about because of the distrust that was brought about through one person, and that person isn't on NNE. And Joanne and I talked about it when we got the stuff out of the box and all that. She goes, well, we're only doing this because of all the distrust that was there. And I said, well, that person's not around. And so that's all over. And so, you know, we can put that in the past. And that's all I said. And then we locked the keys up in a little envelope, and her and Diana Bruno took them back over to the office. But I'm sure at the end, I don't even, well, I'm not absolutely certain that Joanne won't be here. But I'm sure at the end, if we just say, yeah, this is that we have the trust thing worked out, and we're going to hold on to the keys, that'll be fine.
I'm gonna give her a call.
Especially if you're the one pulling the string and it's not me.
I'll give her a
The
call.
other thing is there was a comment today about a post I made on Facebook, and I went back on Facebook and I said, well, one person climbed down my throat and said, are you I thought you'd made these comments anyway. And I put on the Facebook thing of, look, I was not if you'll read it again, I was not endorsing anyone. I was saying that the comment that was made was, I appreciated that comment. That's all I said. And I said, you vote for who you want and who you need. But I would like to not see a bunch of people that are just nodding their head yes to anything that the executive committee wants to do. I think we need free thinkers and people with open minds and ability to make decisions or question decisions being made. And I said, that's the point of my post. And one other person got it. He said, hey, I don't see any endorsement here. I understand what you were saying. And so I was just encouraging people to vote, but to vote responsibly. We do need people that have varying thoughts and varying ideas and are willing to question things instead of just go, okay.
Yeah, no, I think that having really good discussions and people that may not agree, you know, that's good, because then it's better to say, you know, you're trying to make a decision that's best for the community, you know. So, you know, the other thing I'm going to say is I know for certain if any of us I'm looking at the three faces here, if any of us did anything that was considered unethical or a violation of our manual, anything that was immoral, I mean, if as a committee, if we would call each other out for sure.
Yeah.
And I've said this once and I'll say it again. This committee, all that we want to do is ensure that everyone that wants to have an opportunity to vote gets that opportunity to vote. and and their votes are counted.
Yep.
And then the results are where they are. Yeah,
Yeah, if somebody
I'm not,
takes the time to vote, they should make sure it gets counted. And that's the only reason I've been
Exactly.
doing this for 5 years is I want to make sure that people vote and that their vote counts.
that's
And
right.
it is what it is when the numbers come in. I mean,
Mhm.
it's all been done fair and above board, and there's no oops, we found 1,500 ballots in a box over here, and all that stuff that went on in the past.
Yeah, that's a head scratcher for sure.
But all that's in the
What's that?
past.
Yeah, yeah. I was really impressed with what I saw last year. I mean, until, it's kind of funny. I mean, we even said last year, hey, Rob, you're a candidate. You voted for yourself, you're in, but you're a candidate. To follow the process, you should not be in the counting room. And I mean, that's just the kind of stuff like I went, you know what, you guys are right. I should not be in there, They weren't counting yet, but I left. I'm trying to remember who said that. I think Gail, I think that was your call on that one.
Probably.
That was really good. No, I appreciate that. I thought that was great. Well, you guys, let me give ourselves back a little bit of time. I will be available via email, Zoom if it's the time, make the timing right, and via I think I said phone calls, email, whatnot. Call me if you need me. I may not be able to respond right away. I don't think we need a meeting until after until our organizational meeting, right?
Not really.
One last quick question. I can throw together a quick September 3rd meeting. I wasn't pushing back. I just don't. Do you guys think I should do that and just submit it? In other words, the ballot opening, or not ballot.
September's
the
gone.
candidate, pardon me?
You said September 3rd.
Yeah, that's the
opening of the.
Oh, by the way, that was the opening of the things. Yes, I did keep minutes and I did post a minutes to that meeting while you guys started this. I went and looked, and I do have a record that meeting was called a special meeting, and I did send out minutes. Now, whether they got posted on the website, I have no idea, but I do have minutes from that meeting.
Great.
Okay, I will generate them and get them out, and then even I suppose we could approve them at the organizational meeting, could we not?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But Michael has them, right? So I'm not sure I've seen them though, Michael. But maybe, did you send them to us?
I'll send them to you if you want a copy of it, but I don't know.
Oh, I see. Michael, you created them for this year then, is that right?
No, I wasn't at this year's draw.
You did last year.
I did it last year.
I got you.
Oh,
All right, I will do that this year.
We don't have them.
I will do that. Send that out to you.
Okay.
It can be.
All right.
All right,
All right, you guys.
Adjourn at 7:22.
Have a wonderful night.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.